Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely early morning in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, share, and I will rest therein. I'm just coming with a little something to uh, cover uh, the message yesterday that was shot down. As I flew up, going up, they shot me down. And it's all well knowing what I know in the spirit realm that this is a DAY that was given to evil and wicked and evil. So Satan is fully aware of this DAY being given unto him. So he's going to use all of his weapons in warfare to and technology to uh, its utmost. So it's all well with Sister Deborah. I know uh, really where we are at in the will of the Father. I want to come back and speak on who is the true Israel. Can you please stand up? Part 2. Who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? Part 2. Because I want to cover something that's kind of satin right now in my spirit because I know I'm going to speak a message in which um, 99.9 is not going to be able to comprehend, but yet I feel compelled to bring forth uh, uh, for he that has an ear and that he that has an ear can hear. I want you to understand that the Father done has created all things for Himself and for His purpose and for His will and for His name's sake has He created all things from the beginning to the end. And I see that I am one that is what you call a living prophet, not a dead one, not one that can be controlled by the flesh in any shape, form, or fashion. One that knows my servant, knows my service, that I am a servant of the Most High Yah and not a servant of the flesh. So I, Sister Deborah, come to you this morning with a powerful message. Who is the true Israel? And can you stand up? Can the true Israel please stand up? So I want to start off by saying that again, this here is going to be a very powerful message because it's coming from the boldness of the spirit realm, and it's going to lay out some foundation, and it's going to spill out a lot of truth of the whole matter and how one is to focus and where your focus need to be in this day and time. And if it's not focused on the things of Yah and giving him all glory and all praise and all honor, you are created for the second end. The Father wants you to understand that everything he done on the earth, he created it from the heavens. And he orchestrated 99.9 into twos. He wanted you to understand when he created the Garden of Eden, he made sure in the midst there was a tree of life and a tree of knowledge of good and evil. Somewhere in you have to understand that this too is the power of his right hand and that his stretched out arm made sure that it fit according to his will in the Garden of Eden. So he wants you to understand the way that he orchestrated things from heavens were in two, in a form of twos. Okay. So he wants you to understand that before there was, there is. And before there is, there has been. meaning in the beginning, the middle, and the end. All of it was already orchestrated before heaven and earth was created. So he wants you to know that the lamb was slaughtered before the foundation of the world and given its mission. But if the lamb had been slaughtered before the foundation of the world, everything that's in the world was already in Yah. What do you mean? It was already in his bosom. It was already like a blueprint, as we could say here on the earth, uh, in heaven. That means a lot of us thinking we have the power and the authority to teach and preach on these platforms according to our wisdom and our knowledge and our understanding. And you do, because there's two. There is a spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, and spiritual understanding that is taught by the Holy Spirit. Then there's a wisdom and a knowledge and an understanding that is taught by your flesh. So it wraps up in the category of he that is of the flesh is of the flesh. He that is of the spirit is of the spirit. There go two: flesh and spirit. These things were created and orchestrated by the will of the Father from the heaven. So today, people want to teach it as if they want individuals to think that they know something. But really, it ain't that you know anything, because heaven knew it all, okay? The beginning to the end. So where we are at today is, I, a prophetess in the wilderness, would like to step out and say, who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? It is a very powerful message, because you're going to learn something while I speak. You're going to learn what heaven had orchestrated on the earth was not for you to take today and orchestrate it your way. There are many, 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 many verses in the Bible that break down disobedient, rebellion, and even some that separate stiff neck. And then there are verses that put them all three together. That led Sister Deborah to realize that the mindset of a people in the flesh is so far out deep. They don't understand they are matching the flesh of any sin, wicked, and evil on the earth if you're not matching the spiritual. See, they're thinking that, let me just say this here. Before anything was, it is. It is in and founded in the bosom of the Father. So therefore, while we're down on the earth trying to make it a new thing to the mind and to the hearts of others, we fail to realize the only thing that we can bring into the people today is spirit and truth. People don't understand that they are teaching, preaching, and speaking to flesh. And that, yes, I know you're getting subscribers and likes and getting a little check and getting funds and everything from flesh. Because he that is born of the flesh sees the ways of flesh and live therein. But he that is spirit knows the ways of spirit and live therein. You notice he categorized things to be in twos. In the Garden of Eden, when he started, he put two trees. Okay? One of life and one of knowledge of good and evil. He turns around and meet up with Satan to inform Satan, don't think because you won Eve and Adam and Eve on your side. You didn't. I gave them to you. I put the tree down in the midst so they can go exactly where they were assigned to from the heavens. What does that do? That gives that power back to the Creator who know all things. Had not that tree of knowledge of good and evil in the midst next to the tree of life, they would never had the opportunity to take the side in which they were assigned in the heavens. So can the house of Israel, the true house of Israel, please Stand up. Because heavens has orchestrated everything to go according to his will, his purpose, his namesake. See, a lot of you all don't even know his namesake. His namesake is his spiritual purpose from the beginning. Things are under his namesake because heaven has listed under his namesake according to his purpose and his will. Okay? So when you are speaking, you're not understanding even yourself when you're thinking you giving a good sermon or a good message and a good teaching. When you don't understand, there's two ways you're speaking. You could be speaking one of the flesh and one of the spirit. Me being a spirit of the Most High Yah, appointed and anointed as a servant of the Most High to know his riches, his glory, and his mystery. I come to bring the type of boldness that would clamber on top of any and everybody that comes to the devil platform and think that they can dance with the devil and proclaim the music they're playing is for the Most High Yah. So I, Sister Deborah, a prophetess in the wilderness, say unto you, who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? I'm going to get to the point of who the true Israel is, but I want to kind of paint the picture to you about being 4 years old and taught what took place before the foundation of the world. And I think I nailed it up until I was like 18. I give 16 to 18. I had the fullness of understanding it at that level of what the level that y'all had ushered in me during that time. So coming into creation with a garden that has two trees, then here he come in Genesis 3 and 15, explaining to Satan there's going to be twos. But I'm going to make sure there's intimacy. Plus, he made sure that Satan understand that intimacy is between. Then you know that there's something's going to be between your seed and my seed. A lot of people don't know the woman's seed is Yah's seed, which is spirit. Satan's seed is his wicked and evil seed. And it's normally 99.9 people who live out of their flesh. Now, 99.9 of people who say that they are spirit, they're really actually flesh, proclaiming and embracing themselves to be spirit, but yet see not spirit and truth, meaning they have no light to see in darkness, but they proclaim. And it's okay for them to proclaim because heaven's got everything written in the Lamb book of life. And what else? The books. There go the twos. He got two separate books. The Lamb book of life and the books on this end. One goes where? To the lake of fire, and one goes where? To the kingdom, the new heaven. So therefore, heavens had already orchestrated what belonged to him. So when people get down here, they think that it's so easy to deceive the mass. So he made sure he had what? 2 lanes, which is what? 2 gates that carries 2 lanes. We have the narrow gate that leads back to the tree of life, and we have the broad gate that leads to what? The broad gate that leads to destruction. It leads you straight to the lake of hell. That's the end game of he that walks through the broad gate of destruction, iniquity, wicked and evil. So there go 2 gates. Everything he done in 2. So I don't know where people get off thinking that they're smarter than he is, as if he don't know how he orchestrated the things according to his will. Like you might see where woman was created for man and not man for woman. You need to bag that thing up and bag it down. How can we back it up, Deborah? And how can we back it down? You back it up with all things that was created for the purpose and the will of the Father. And you back it down that all things was created for the purpose and the will of the Father. When we turn it and make it the will of man, it's because man has snuck in and converted it. So he that is of the flesh would know that it is speaking. Not that woman was created for man, nor man for woman. The terror has snuck in and has created the words to fool and manipulate the weak to believe that this is the will of the Father. The will of the Father already stated from heaven. Everything that is created for my will and my purpose. So what is that will of yours, Father? What is that purpose? Deborah, tell them spirit and truth. So what is it that been switched, changed? It's the same thing that was placed in the garden of knowledge of evil and good. Notice evil and good was in the same location. Why? Because they was holding hands with each other. Only way evil can really be evil, it has to use good to be evil. You see? And only way good can portray to be good, it has to have evil to help it portray to be good. So it's saying that when you're teaching and you're preaching and you open your mouth, you got to understand. No, you don't have to understand. Because going back, only the understanding of the Most High Yah in spirit and in truth can you understand. It's like that ear. That ear is spiritual. He that has an ear, let him hear. He that has an eye, that eye is spiritual. Let him see. You see, these here are ways of the spirit. Or you can be gripping and embracing and teaching and preaching and calling yourself to be somebody in the flesh, but calling it the spirit. So we back to who is Israel? Can you please stand up? Now we're finna go back to the kingdom. We're finna go back to the kingdom of heaven. And if we have to, we will go back to the throne of the Most High God. Now, in heavens, the Father had chosen everything from his bosom, meaning it was him, his plan, his will from the heavens. It wasn't that he chose a people to come down and be against him, but yet before him because he chose them. No. He did everything in twos. What he did was, a lot of people didn't even understand why he was chasing from the beginning all the way to the end. Even to today, the Father is forever chastising his that are spirit, because they are his true love. They are his that shall return. When you speak of Naomi and Ruth, you running around here with Naomi and Ruth, and we make it about Naomi and Ruth when it was really about Bozak. He was bringing Bozak back down the spiritual line. Why? Because heavens has orchestrated an Israel in the spirit, and he has created an Israel in the flesh. Praise the mighty Yah. He made two. One Israel would be the inheritor of the land of the earth, and the other Israel would be the inheritor of the spirit. That's why when you hear of the 12 gates in the heavens, that's who they're for. They're for the Israel, okay, that was born of the Spirit. You see? And then you got the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah that is born of the flesh. They don't know how to separate the two because they have lied and deceived. For so long have they done this to where they're now wanting to stand as the true Israel and point finger at the fake Israel as if they are different and they are one of the same. So I, a prophetess in the wilderness, say unto you, who is the true Israel? Is the ones that's going to reign in the eternal heaven that came down here to represent the spiritual Israel. And all this time in my young life and even in my years today, I would go before the throne of the Most High and say, who are this ugliness? Who are these people? What are they doing? What are they saying? Why are they teaching? Why are they preaching? Why are they saying this about you? Why are they doing this about? Couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand it until the Father taught me in the spirit realm. See, that's why I say it benefits me to go to the wilderness to be taught by the Holy Spirit. Because the wilderness, it closed everybody else out. And it's between me and my Father in the wilderness. And he began to teach me the spiritual things in the wilderness. And how to separate the natural from the spirit from the natural. You see? And as I'm looking now, even in the title, who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? See, the true Israel, or the Israel that came down as the spiritual Israel. That's why he had so much negative going on with the flesh Israel. And you say, well, when did he do that? Have that, Deborah? Since the beginning. That's why he gave Abraham 2 sides. He said, you already counted in. That means you already in there, Abraham. Before the foundation of the world, you already counted into the spiritual Israel. Abraham, Isaac, you all are too. Solomon, you are too. David, you know you are. You see, they already counted into the spiritual reason. That's why do you think that you got men on the earth that feels that pleasure is better than righteous? Hate is better than holy and righteous. The ways of their wisdom and knowledge and understanding in their pride and their boasting and out of their teaching and out of their mouth is greater than righteous that rest in spirit. Why do you think that? Because you all never knew that all this time Yah was chastising, discipline, correcting the spiritual Israel that has always been present on the earth. He's been working with them since the beginning of time, y'all. So when he sent in Revelation 7, the 5 angels to take the seal of his and seal his, he first wanted you to know they are the servants first and foremost. Then you can call them the house of Israel. Praise the mighty Yah. Because being a servant, you have to know who you serve. And you have to be a servant because he that you are serving called you to be a servant. That was in the spirit realm, in the heavenly, where you called as a servant. That's why he sent heavenly angels with the seal, the spiritual seal, to seal you in your forehead So that what? You are sealed from the things of the world because you are the spiritual Israel that's going to go back to where? The land. So you all knew not that there were two lands, two promise, two lands. You see, to Israel. And I am not afraid to speak on this level because it's so much power that rests therein. Because heavens has orchestrated even this day to be as it is, where the flesh Israel is lost with the cause and without it. And this is why you can't seem to get all of these people who said that they are the true Israel. You notice you can't get them into any unity. You can't get them to line up. You can't get them to come on one accord. You can't get them to help the needy, the fatherless, the widows, the orphanage, the homeless, the prisons, the hospitals. You can't get them to come into none of that fourfold. You know why? Because they are the Israel of the flesh, like unto, like unto. When they point over to the Jerusalem today, that thumb is pointing straight at them. They are like unto the house of Israel in Israel. They too are like unto. Why? Because they are of the flesh. They know not the Israel of the spirit. This is why Yah had he and sealed. So Satan, they can know that these here, you're going to have to dance around. Because I put them to be mine. Now, you want to seal yours, you can seal yours up and you can seal yours down. These here are sealed from your seal. They are sealed from the earthquake. They are sealed from the pestilence. They are sealed from the famine. They are sealed from the hurricanes. They are sealed from everything that's taking place. Why? Because they are sealed in the spirit already. This sealed in the forehead is showing Satan that now those that are not with my seal, you can go on and seal yours. You see what I'm saying? See, y'all don't get it. That's what Revelation 7 was about. And now you hear of all the tornadoes and the floods. They were holding these mighty winds for this purpose, to bring in and usher all this in so death can take its course. This is what heaven has orchestrated before the foundation of the world. So the true Israel, please stand up. So you see this prophet boo-hooing and hoo-hooing for the last 2 years. Father, why isn't they not teaching Deuteronomy end game? Deuteronomy end game, I'm going to cover that here too. Why isn't they not understanding their ugliness? It's because they don't want, they are those who like unto the ones in Genesis, not in Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, the synagogue of Satan, the fake, the synagogue of Satan. So while the house of Israel is pointing to the synagogue of Satan, their thumbs is pointing to them. That means you need to look at who you are. If that's the synagogue of Satan, then who are you? You are Israel in the flesh. Are you the Israel Yes, you are Israel, but you're the Israel in the flesh. That's why you will not serve the Father in the power of his right hand, in the ways, in the spirit. That's why you will not see him with all power and authority. You will not see him with all the richness and his glory and his might. You would not understand him as a father that chastises his children, because his children is not the children of the flesh. It is his children of the spirit. He chastised and disciplined David when he did the things that he did. Why? Because he chastised and disciplined the one that he loves. Did it bring David out or kept him in? It still kept him in, because a father that really cares about his children and really love, as the world think love is, his children, he'll give and gave him the chastising, the discipline, the correction that he needed. This is why Solomon is going to be held blameless, because he was the spiritual Israel. Abraham, he tells him in the vision, you already counted in, bro. You counted in before the foundation of the world. You are the spiritual Israel. Also, he suffered the spiritual Israel to be born of a woman, just as Yeshua HaMashiach, born of a woman, flesh, died on the cross for all mankind in the flesh, but redeemed back spiritual Israel in the spirit. That's when you know what you know, what you know. Because greater is he that is really in thee than he that's in the whole wide world. And nothing else matters outside of his greatness. So we have taken on trying to be the Israel, trying to be justified, clarified, and identified that we are the true Israel. You are the true Israel. You are the true Judah. But you are that in the flesh and not of the spirit. The promised land was given to the house of Israel, the whole house of Israel. Josh took you on in. And you still today reject knowledge that the promised land, as Yah told Abraham, that he would give unto his seed in the flesh. He did. He gave it to them. What part of the Bible have you not read that have spoken of them having, inheriting the promised land floating with milk and honey? So that shows you that the first promise to Abraham, it's the second promise to Abraham, but it was with the first promise. What you all didn't know, it was two promises. One for the land of the flesh and one for the land of the spirit. Now, the reason why Sister Deborah can break that up into the twos is because being a student of the Ruach HaKodesh, being taught in the wilderness, is the purpose of keeping the ones on each side of you while you're in the lane in which I have orchestrated, ordained, and predestined you to run in, and your focus is always on the things of the spirit, who Yah is, then therefore you can see what's on the left and on the right and in the back of you. And you can speak wholeheartedly against anything that comes against the Most High Yah in the flesh. Bring it back down to the earth and leave it there. So we have a promised land in the flesh, and we have promised land in the spirit. What do you mean, Deborah? Well, the promised land of the flesh was fulfilled when Joshua was led the children of Israel, into the land flowing with milk and honey, the promised land. And here we are saying that we are the true Israelites. I mean, we are the true Israel, but we deny spirit and truth, which is the truth of the whole matter, is that the reason why the house of Israel is in the land of their captive. See, when he brought you over here to this here land in which he had already prophesied thousands of years to Abraham, it had to be fulfilled. And that's where we're at. But don't ever estimate, don't you ever estimate, just because he has the wheat and the tare growing together. Praise the Lord. That he do not know the difference between the tare and the wheat that's in the midst of him. For the wheat represents spirit, and the tare represents evil, wicked of the flesh. There go the two. Wheat and tare. Everything is broke in and out into twos. So that's why Sister Deborah can break Israel down, the true Israel, down into twos. Israel of the flesh and Israel of the spirit. So now where we're at now is we're going to the promised land that was promised to the Israel of the spirit. Praise the mighty God. Because with me as a prophetess in the wilderness, I'm like trying to master. Why is it you giving me all this information every day? You study bombarding me with all this new revelation and it's new this, but yet it all blends right into what is present for you to study. Because when that Holy Spirit comes to heathens, he's going to teach you, like he said, all things. And all things meaning that which is in spirit and that which is in the flesh. He's going to teach you the both. And while he's teaching you the both, one has to counteract the other. And that's who I am. I'm a bold speaker against the flesh to give you what is spirit and truth. The house of Israel today is right now on these platforms teaching and preaching the word in the flesh without the word that is in spirit and in truth. So, who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? Let's go somewhere to give you a little bit an idea of where and who you are dealing with. And the reason why you're dealing with Israel in the flesh. Now, I want you to understand, he called Israel in the land of Judah and over in the land that's in war now, as they say. He calls them what he called them. That's who I see them to be, the synagogue of Satan. But I see another house of Israel that is of the flesh, and not of the Spirit. They're the ones who feel I cross that bridge when I get there, or I'm going to fake it until I make it. You see, I'm not going to speak nor teach nor look for spirit and truth. I got to go to the book of Enoch. I got to go to this book, this book. None of that, none of those books bring you into spirit and truth. Not one of them. Only one can bring you into that realm is the right hand power of who Yah is, Christ, Hamashiach. He's the only one that can usher you into the bosom of the Most High Yah in spirit and in truth. Now, when I get here, now listen to this. I got both of my books here. When I get here, with the true Israelites or the true Israel, please stand up. I'm going to talk about you right here. Not about you, but I'm going to talk to you so you'll know who you are. And when he shared with me his only thing about where he brought the people to is because he wants you to know he knew all the time before heaven and earth was created and before he lists his spiritual seed to come down a people, he already knew that the other side was going to always go up against his seed. He already knew it. He didn't come telling Satan something that he didn't already know. He told Satan, I'm going to check you. So don't think that because you won Adam and Eve, I gave you Adam and Eve. Matter of fact, I put the tree of knowledge and good right beside me. So it ain't like you won something. But I'm going to let you know this. Heavens has already put a division between your seed and mine. How about this? Where the tare grew in with the wheat. And what he tells me today, you can't even see the wheat, Deborah. And that's why you struggle as a prophetess trying to discern the spiritual ones because the tare has taken over the wheat. But it ain't nothing that I didn't know, Deborah, because heaven has already wrote it in. It is written that I have a narrow gate, and very few shall find therein. You see, so it's nothing, a small remnant. So he's showing me that don't get bent up and bent down. I know you're living this spiritual walk, but it's okay. Just stay in that wonderful, excellent, perfect lane I have created thee to be and to run in, and you're going to be okay. So I come to you in Deuteronomy, which I noticed that those who say that they are the true Israel, please stand up because you have claimed Deuteronomy 28 to be about you. You have taken on this Bible and say it's talking about you. It's been talking about you since the beginning and the end. But is it talking about just you, or is it talking about those who are pulling out of who you are? Meaning you are the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. But there is another house of Israel and the tribe of Judah that is of the Spirit. You are of this book, the one that has been stiff-necked, rebellion, disobedient, whoremongering against the Creator since the beginning of time. You are the flesh Israel. You are the dead Israel. You're not the living Israel or the spiritual Israel. Okay? So this is the reason why they that have wronged the spiritual Israel has a consequence. He that is wronged the flesh Israel, you know, there's a lot of them that died out and gone on by their business. They'll see hell, yeah, where everyone will be judged from, but they didn't come and go. What's this deal with those today that have done Israel wrong. It's because he's letting them know that I'm going to, at the end, bring judgment on those who have done the spiritual Israel that I'm bringing out. I'm going to judge them in the way on the earth. And I catch them again come judgment in the heaven. If the house of Israel acts, portray, thinks, feel, conduct themselves like unto the world, like unto the synagogue of Satan over in Jerusalem that's said to be warred today, if you are conducting yourself like them and worse, then how dare you claim to be the work of Yah in the heaven? You are pointing to them and your thumb is pointing to you because you got this thing bent up and bent down. When Yah slaughtered the lamb and used his only begotten power, his right hand, to come down to orchestrate this whole mission, it's no way in the world that he's going to bring everything that was against him on the earth into a kingdom in the heavens. It goes back to Deuteronomy 28. The minds are gone. They are destroyed mentally because they cannot see and they cannot hear what God said, the Most High Yah. Why? Because they are not of the realm of the spirit. They are the realm of the flesh. Okay, so when I get to Deuteronomy 28 and I try to master the ideal of why is it a people is not getting even Deuteronomy 28. But what do? They drag you all, those that are of the flesh. Israel of the flesh drags you all straight to Torah and forsake Deuteronomy 28, along with other things in Torah, because they don't want you to find your way to any light, none whatsoever. Let's go. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 19. Cursed shall thou be when thou cometh in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goeth out. What part of that? That the house of Israel, will you please stand up? What part of that you don't get? House of Israel, what part of that you don't get? Okay, let's go to verse 20. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20. Ahiah shall send upon thee curses, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thy hands unto, for to do, till thy be destroyed. Till what? Till thy be destroyed. Till what? Till thy be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Now, this is the one that has caused Israel to be placed under a curse. Will the true Israel please stand up? This is you he's speaking of. So how is what he's saying in Deuteronomy 28 endgame? How the things he's saying you've done, how is it that it's better than what the synagogue of Satan is doing? Listen to this. He's telling you that until thou be destroyed and until thou perish quickly because of thy wickedness of thy doing, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Now, let's continue. Let's continue. He says in verse 24, Deuteronomy 28 and 24, for Yah shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heavens shall it come down upon thee till thou be destroyed. What is it that's matching Hosea chapter 4, verse 6? My children, my people are destroyed. Wait a minute. It's saying that in Torah, in Deuteronomy 28. What is it about the people that they are not getting? Because they are people of Israel that are born of the flesh. Mentally, physically, they're not going to get it. They don't understand. They are the house of Israel. But you are the part that are the flesh. There's two Israels. One is of the spirit and one is of the flesh. This is why it is needed to seal and take minds on to the promised land in the spirit. That's why the land, the way he's going to speak to the land and how the land going to bring it up, just like he did in Genesis 1. He's going to restore the land in which he knows where the land is at. But the flesh of Israel seems to want to manipulate and deceive the mass in the flesh that they know where it's at. See, by me being in the lane in which Yah has created me in spirit and truth, I can't go over there messing around with them. I can't go messing around, where's the land or this. No. The Father already said that he's going to speak to the land and bring it up to the land that it was back in creation. It's going to be like unto the Garden of Eden. That's how it's going to appear before he brings spiritual Israel back home. So you see how all of you all in this newfound awakening, this new understanding and a denomination, we the people, we the children of the Most High Yah, we the true Jews, we the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we the this, we the that, we the this. When I'm the prophet that's taught from the wilderness, that knows the richness, that knows the glory, and that knows the mystery of the Most High God. And I'm here to tell you, and it's not coming to tell you because it's going to wake you up. No, it's going to make you even in a deeper sleep. That's why you see those that says that they are entitled to be leaders and rulers and kings out here killing each other. That's why you see them killing their mothers and their fathers. You see them killing their children. And you always got to look at the one that he created first, because if the first is bent, broken, destroyed, then everything out his learned, which is his seeds, is like unto. You see? So here we go. So he tells us in Deuteronomy 28 that he's going to do until you are destroyed. Then he drops all the way here to 28. Let's see what 28 says. And Deuteronomy 28 and 28, Ahiah shall smite thee with the madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. You ain't gonna get it. So the reason why you don't understand Sister Deborah, and Sister Deborah definitely understand you, because I'm a student of the Holy Spirit, taught spirit and truth. I'm not taught by Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patriot, and all these flesh on the earth. I'm taught by the spirit of the Most High God, the Ruach HaKodesh. So therefore, I can't hear what you're saying. I see it as a lie, deception, deceiving, pride, boasting, ego, wicked. That's what I see. That's what I hear. And on the other hand, the Ruach here is giving me understanding in all that he is teaching me. Okay, so here in, let's go to another verse. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse, let's go to verse 33 and 34. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knoweth not up, not eat up. Let me say that again. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knoweth not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. Verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad. Then I tell you, gone for the sight of what thou will, thy eyes which thou shalt see. See, gone. And this is the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah, especially the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel. Gone. Don't understand what's going on, why it's happening, because you forsaken. Always, since the beginning of time. And you think at the end, he's going to come get, and you're teaching the people. He's coming to get all your wicked, your sin, your hate, your abomination. Why did you think that it was easy for them to pull out polygamy? Because polygamy is the act of the flesh. It is not of the spiritual Israel. See, they didn't know that. They had no idea. They never knew that Jacob really wasn't a man that spent time with his children. Jacob, nor did Isaac, nor Abraham, the quality time. These were men who had birthed their children. Their children were already spiritual Israel. You see? So therefore, they didn't need that quality natural time. The men today, they don't give time, whether they spirit or they flesh. And really, honestly, they have set it up from the floor up that the natural overrides the spirit. That's why it was easy for them. And here today, we'll take out this whole book, the ways of David, Solomon, Abraham, and Jacob, that was flesh, because they are of the flesh. And cling on to the things that give the flesh the pleasure, to make the flesh think that I'm a king, I'm a leader, I'm a ruler. I'm all this and that. I can lay down with this one, I can lay down with that one, I can lay down with this one. They can be my slaves. I have this uncontrolled, this in control. All of that is flesh, you guys. They lost. That's why they gripped. They didn't grip David's ways toward Yah. They gripped David's ways toward the flesh. They didn't grip Abraham's ways toward Yah in the spirit. They gripped Abraham's ways toward the flesh. You get down here with Jacob. They didn't grip Jacob ways of the spirit. They gripped Jacob ways of the flesh. This is the difference between the two. They didn't know Abraham was flesh and spirit. You see, but they did not know that his whole overall was spirit to come back. And they lived trying to ride on Abraham's flesh to get the glory and the honor and the praise. They want the world to see them as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob see. They want the world to see their outer man. They want the world to see their outer appearance. They want the world to see that they are melanated. They want the world to see everything on their outer man and all the wicked and evil that they are performing. They don't want the world to see, even though they revealing it straight to them, how they treat their women, how they treat their children. And all the example that the father has given, a father to his children, a father to his son. You won't get not one of these men knowing how to mimic the ways of Yah, showing men how to be to their sons, telling men how to be to their daughters. Instead, they took on everything they can find that gives them power, control, domination, ruler, lion, king. and have forsaken all spiritual mission that all Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Solomon controlled, because these were men of the spirit of Israel. And see how they missed out, y'all. Now, when you get over here into Deuteronomy 28, he's still telling them, I'm destroying your butt. I'm destroying your butt. They still don't get it. Even to today, 2023, in October, they still don't get it. I'm destroying your butt. Who is that he telling? He's doing all this destroying. Israel of the seed, of the flesh, the serpent. He's destroying you. He that is of the flesh. He's letting you know he's destroying you. And in the midst, he is just going to get caught up. But I'm going to seal mine so I can take them on over to the spiritual promise, the land. To the spiritual promise, that land. He's not taking you all. So I, Sister Deborah, as a prophetess in the wilderness, will say again, who is Israel? Can you please stand up? Or do you know? You don't. You made yourself what you are. Now, what does that say to Sister Deborah? It's time to only give to the people that has an ear to hear and hope that they, if it's one, can hear. Because this here, in what I'm saying, is showing you how the broad gate has widened. Why was hell enlarged? For the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah was the one that the other 11 tribes looked to. But what has the tribe of Judah done since he's been over here? So yes, the Father always got a ram in the bush. And his ram is his spiritual Israel that he have sealed like unto Revelation chapter 7 and called them his servants. All this time, people was thinking they was chasing Naomi and Ruth, wanting to, everything is always trying to meditate on the outer and not the inner. The inner of Ruth and Naomi was Bozak, because the spiritual line was clipped. It's like a spinal cord where you clip it and one end of your body can't work with the other end. When the husband and sons passed away, that clipped the spinal cord. So the spiritual mission had to route back to Bozak so it can connect the spiritual mission back together. That's why I told you when you go to Matthew chapter 1, you can see the spiritual Israel right there. You can see him. You can see the seed of the woman right there. Before it even came down to the Messiah, you can see the spiritual woman. You can see the ones that had to crush Satan's head. And yes, they were wounded many times, but yet they kept going because their steps were ordered by the Most High Yah as the spiritual Israel. So while you all are clowning, while you all are following the flesh Israel, you go on and continue to follow. This message is not for you because this will crush your head and it'll leave you in Lulu land. You ain't gonna know where you're going or where you're coming, because Yah is only coming for the spiritual Israel and not the flesh. So I say unto you, even when you look into the dry bones, he's bringing up the dry bones to also take the army of the dry bones to the promised land, which is a spiritual Israel. Sister Deborah, from what I can read, it sounds like the army of David that fought with David throughout those times, because he spoke of them as an army of men. So he don't need you. He don't need Israel and the tribe of Judah in the flesh. He don't need you. That's where you bent up and bent down. He already told you he's taking a small remnant, and that small remnant that he's taking, that's the spiritual Israel. So yes, it is Israel, but it's a small remnant. A lot of you all of the tribe of Judah that's melanated, not now one of these people would break that thing down, 12,000. That's not even a number to me. That's 1%. But you all see that and you thinking, oh, I'm included. Not understanding what is 144. You got to think in the eyes of Yah. You see the 12 gates representing the tribe of Judah. That is the spiritual Israel. The spiritual 12 tribes. It ain't meaning the flesh. Why do you think that your people are out here cutting up from the floor? And y'all gonna say, come on, y'all. You can kill, steal, rape, have your sex, have your enjoyment. You can be a leader, ruler, king down here, and I'm gonna take you to the heaven. No, he ain't coming for your ruler. He ain't coming for you to be the king. He ain't coming for you to be the head of nothing. Because you ain't even the head of your own self. Because your flesh is leading you and not your spirit. You're not even the leader of your own flesh, your own spirit. You are the leader of your flesh. And you leading the multitude of flesh through the broad gate. So no, you are not the spiritual Israel, but you are the true Israel in the flesh. 100% time 100 million. So when you really look into this, and you're not going to, because when I sit and hear people talk about Torah and deny Torah in its fullness, when Yah is chastising he that is born of the flesh, they don't go nowhere near the things that Yah is speaking with power, good authority, chastising and discipline in the spirit. Why? Because Yah is disciplining heathens in the spirit. He is with the wheat and the tare. He said, let them grow together. So is the spiritual Israel in captivity with the flesh Israel? Yes, that's the wheat and the tare growing together. How do you like them now? Yah orchestrated from heavens that the wheat and the tare grow together. And only one he wants to separate is the Son of Man coming with the Son of Yah. He sent the angels to mark his. So his will only go up out of here to the promised land. That is the spiritual Israel. But the flesh of Israel shall remain here on the earth. Every chapter in this book lets you know that. But they decided to lie to you all, deceive you. So you rank in the broad gate because you were deceived by the deceiver. And that could be because when Yah brought you down here, when he suffered you to come down here, you were coming down as one that is to be deceived. See, heaven's already got it wrote in and wrote out. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Sister Deborah is just a voice for the Most High Yah in these end days to let you know you ain't got nan over my Father. His glory, his honor, his word, and who he stand for, and that great, wonderful power is all that and some. So you might as well stand down and stop clowning, because it's over. So who is the true Israel? Can you please stand up? And when I say, can you please stand up? You should be able to own Deuteronomy 28 in game. You should be able to look in here and do exactly what this prophetess did. Pull out all these verses showing your ugliness, your stiff neck, your rebellion, your disobedience, your whoremongering, and all the wicked and evil. And measure that thing and say, surely it's no way this type of people is going to enter into the promised land of the spirit, nor the eternal heaven. How dare you think that the Yah of creation would let a people do all the wicked and evil on the earth and still reign in the heaven? It's not the house of Israel that's going to reign in the spiritual promised land and in the heavens. It is. It's the spiritual Israel that's going to reign in the promised land and in heaven, not the flesh Israel. Why would he separate the flesh and the spirit, saying, he that is of the spirit is of the spirit, he that is of the flesh is of the flesh? If he's going to let these fleshly men, they say they're kings, leaders, and rulers, or I'm a pastor, I'm a apostle, I'm a bishop, I'm a prophet, I'm an evangelist, I'm a Maureen, I'm a seer. He going to let you reign in heaven when he have not even called you to the earth to be spiritual, from his spiritual bosom, to return back to his spiritual bosom. But yet, he's going to let you do all the wicked on the earth. Teach it, preach it, walk it, talk it, act it, lust it, desire it, complete it. It's a level of hate that man in the house of Judah have taught, that Yah said he's looked at and he's seen it, for it had existed for a long time. And I said, Father, I knew not it. But if this the type of hate that has been within, that's why none of them took care of their first talents that you gave them, which was a seed. But they can talk about a woman committing abortion, but they can't talk about their lust, their a sexual desire that spills seeds day and night, night and day. How about that? How about that? How can it be a seed of life from him and be a seed considered dead in her? When you disperse it day and night, night and day, it's the same self seed of abortion. And what is it when you bring forth life and he has given it to you as talents and you take off and run? So start a whole new line of seed and forsaking the seeds in which you left behind with the heart of hate, because you blamed it on one person, that you escaped the responsibility of knowing that a spiritual Yah has held you accountable for every seed that had entered out of your womb, men. You think you're going to stand before him and be the righteous? No, you're not. You're not. He knows what you did and how you done it. 99.9% of the house of Israel here on the earth, especially the tribe of Judah, you're not going to enter into the spiritual promised land, nor the kingdom of heaven for eternal. I know they lied to you, they manipulated you, and you fell right into it, because the spiritual seed, guess what? They fall into the bosom of the Father and let him teach them spirit and truth. The flesh Israel, the tribe of Judah, fall into the flesh and let it lead and teach and guide and rule them. To where when Deuteronomy pull up and tell you, I place you here, they ain't gave no respect to Deuteronomy at all. Never got in it to look at it, to embrace it and see it in spirit and truth, because they were following the flesh of man. So he that is born of the flesh is one of the two that is of the flesh. You are not going to the spiritual promised land, for it is spirit. Okay? It is holy. Nor are you going to be in line with the gates of the 12 tribes in heaven, for it is spiritual. So, because you didn't understand, not because you didn't pay any attention, nor it ain't cause, it's because heaven had already wrote you in and wrote you out. Just put it like that. Just nail that thing, Deborah. Just knock it where it needs to be knocked into the wall. So I, Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. And I didn't really get to read all these verses. I got about 100 of them, showing from Exodus all the way, showing the flesh Israel, the one I'm saying. Who is Israel? The true Israel. Can you please stand up? You'll never stand up to what is spiritual, what is righteous. That's why you support all the wrongdoing of the men on the earth. Them doing it and always have. It's because it was no spiritual guidance in you to show you the difference between righteous and unrighteous, just and unjust, the light and the darkness. You always took on the ways of the flesh, the desires of your flesh, the will of your flesh, the knowledge of your flesh, the understanding of your flesh wisdom, your flesh knowledge, your flesh understanding, your flesh emotions. That's really what's strange today is the level of men emotions and feelings today is off the chart. This where you know that there's a level of Satan's seed embedded in them because it has caused them to see the creation of Yah to be the opposite and to be something that they can teach hate toward so that they can look to be the light, which they know no lights reign in them. So I, Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. And again, who is the true Israel? Please stand up because you're matching identical to the Israel. It's called the synagogue of Satan. Your ways, your action, your motion, your motive, your intent, your purpose. So that leads Sister Deborah to understand its fullness of the way she was taught. That yes, Deborah, they are the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. But they are the ones that is of the flesh. I come for he that is of the spirit of the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. And I call them my servants. These people call themselves their own title. I did not ordain them. I did not call them to the holy calling that they have called themselves. I have not missioned them in the mission in which they have a mission themselves. But because they were of the flesh, they found the ways of the flesh to bring forth their ways. And that is who they are. I chastise the one I love. I discipline, I correct them, saith the Most High God. These people, they can't be corrected because they are of the flesh. Minds are of the spirit. I am spirit. I chase after the spirit and correct it. But the flesh, they are who they are and they shall remain. I, Sister Deborah, say to you all, I hope you got something out of it. And shalom and shalom.